Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I have for you a simple build, a present day structure, not exactly a livable survival structure, but it's good for any modern city sort of design. With that being said, I chose a simpler build just because we're testing out a new format. But let me go ahead and show you the inside real quick. Like I said, it's very simple, very small, probably not a great survival house, but it gets the job done. So, without further ado, let us begin. So for the floor plan, I started off with an andesite brick, then followed with 3 cobblestones, a space of 1, a space of 3 again, just mirroring that's one side. Then I did a 2 spot, and then we're going to mirror that shape on the other side. Now for the big square, I did a 5 by 7 cutout. But on the 5 side, I placed an andesite brick in the middle, but the back side, nothing. Then, of course, I filled that in with cobblestone. For the back side, I went to the far corner and placed a spot for the chimney that is 3 wide by 3 long. Now we're going to raise the floor by 1 block, placing oak logs on top of the andesite bricks. And then in between the oak logs, we're going to connect them up with sideways oak logs on the building portion only, the large square or rectangle. And then finally, a floor of your choice. I just filled in the center with oak planks. Now we're going to move on to the porch. I did oak planks all the way across and then cut off with the oak logs there in the center, and then oak planks in the very center. And then where the cobble is, I placed upside down oak wood staircases. So for the first part of the build, we're going to raise up the porch logs from the smaller square a total of 3 times, so they should be 4 tall. And then we're going to raise up the corresponding 4 behind it another 4 times, so they should be 5 tall. Then we're going to raise up the middle beam 7 times, so it should be a total of 8 tall. And then we're going to connect up the 2 logs in between with diagonal logs going straight up, like so. And then, of course, we're going to mirror that on both sides of the log and then also both sides of the build. Now for the aesthetic window coming out of the roof, don't do it the first way that I did it, but we're going to have the logs come out 1 time from the 4 tall logs, and then they're going to go up 1. We want the logs straight up and down like that, and a total of 2 tall, and then we want 1 log in the middle straight up. So the peak of that window should be the same peak as the tallest point of the building. And then the next part, we're going to not do it the way I did it. We're going to drag the logs all the way from log to log like that. But where the window is, we're going to have a 1 wide gap in between, so the logs should line up with the window logs. And then, of course, on the back side, we're just going to drag the logs all the way across, as it doesn't matter. And then for a little final detail, I just placed some logs outward where all the log posts are coming straight up out of the ground, just to give the building a little more depth. So for the next part of the build, I just chose the light blue terracotta. You can choose any color of your choice. I just found the color worked best for the reference photo that I found. And all we're going to do is fill in the house portion of the build in between all of the logs underneath the peaked roof. So for the next part of the build, we're going to need a little bit more of a close-up for the fine-tuning of the roof. And to do that, we're going to start with our unpolished andesite staircases upside down along all the porch beams. Then on top, right there, on top of the log posts, we're going to put the unpolished andesite like so. Then we're just going to simply connect everything up like this. And then from here, now we're going to do like a gradual staircase going all the way up just before this log post and place an upside down andesite staircase like that. And then just to show you this little difference, we're going to have a little bit more of a lip right there. And then we're going to drag these all the way across and do the same thing for both sides. And then for the rest of the roof, we're just simply do a peaked roof with staircases going all the way to the top. And then at the very top, we're going to do the half slabs. And then, of course, when we get to this little piece here that's just absolutely for decoration, next to the log posts, I'm going to do a set of 3 of the terracotta of your choice. And then we're going to use the staircases to round it out and end right there for now, as we'll do a better window frame afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the roof. So when you're done, you should have a rooftop that looks like this, and if you want to do the detailing now, go ahead. What I did is I simply put some stone staircases and stone half slabs just to kind of break up that one solid texture all around the rooftop. Then, just to brace the roof a little bit more, I added some more fine details with the birch wood staircases upside down like this on both sides of the A-frame. And then lastly underneath the posts, and then intermittently one space in between, minus this area where the chimney will go, I placed staircases side by side like that, just to give the roof some support. And again, if you want to break that up, go for it with some stone staircases. And for the chimney, we're going to go to this little cobble platform we have here in the back and create a bit of a half slab cutout. In fact, we're going to do that the whole way around, and then we're going to keep building up with that little spot there in the center. We're going to have to destroy a portion of the roof like that, and then just keep building up. And then I'm going to add a little bit of variation to the chimney. Doesn't matter how tall it is, that's more of personal preference at that point. Then I'll put a campfire here at the very top and surround it with some spruce staircase trapdoors. Then towards the bottom again, I'm going to give this a little more variation in its design. So I'm going to lower the corners, add the staircase here, maybe lower this one even further down like that. Put a staircase there, one there, then maybe add a block here, and then again some more staircases just to give the chimney a little more design to it instead of it being flat. So before we start working on the windows, we may as well finish the chimney while we're right here. And for that, I'm going to go to the far corner where the chimney was and then cut out a spot. I'm going to cut it out 3 tall, so about in total of 9 blocks removed. And then I'm just going to fill in where the chimney would be with the andesite bricks, polished andesite slab there on the bottom. And we're going to need 1 polished andesite staircase upside down like that. And of course, the campfire that I just threw away, we're going to place right there. So now we're going to start detailing the front porch a bit. So I'm going to take out some oak stairs, place that there in the center, and then I'm going to take these azalea plants, just kind of make a little design like this in front of it, just to cover up the back side portion. And I'm going to put some oak fences here on both sides, just like that. And again, we're going to cover up that end there with 2, and likewise 2 right there. Next, we're going to go on to both sides of the house, and I'm going to drag the azalea bushes all the way across like this. And again, a similar design to the front. And again, we're going to do the same exact thing on the opposite side, removing that middle log and placing the bushes. And then lastly, with the bushes in hand, we're going to go to the back side of the building, and again, the same exact thing, just to kind of hide some of the imperfections of the building that are towards the bottom, which is the foundation. Now we need to work on the windows, and I'm going to start with the decorative window here on the top by placing 2 glass panes here in the center, and then flanking it on both sides with a pair of oak fences. And then right above the top, I'm going to place a birch wood fence and then have it opening like so. Then I'm going to take our oak stairs, place them facing each other like that, and then one in the center upside down with an oak slab right on top. It doesn't have to be petrified oak, as that just so happens to be the thing that I grabbed. Now we're going to go to the first floor, and then in the middle portions of the porch on the 3 wide walls, we're going to cut out a pair of 2 holes like so, replacing those with some glass panes. Then we're just going to flank the sides with some spruce trapdoors. Now for the sides of the house, we're going to cut out a pair of 2 holes on both sides of the stripped log like this, then replace it with the glass panes, and then on top we're just going to put our birch fence gates right side up with the doors open, and then a pair of spruce trapdoors over the top like that. And then just to kind of add a little detail to the azalea bushes, I put trapdoors over the top, and we're going to do that same exact design on the other side. And then for the rear of the house, it doesn't really require anything. You could add a little variation if you want to break up the textures a bit, but I think the flat texture look actually looks fine, especially for the type of house that we're going for. So I'm quite happy with that result. As for the interior, we can just simply put some upside down oak staircases if you wish, just to make it look like the logs are being braced a little better, and give a little more realism, even though it doesn't need it. Then just up here to cover up the andesite rooftop with this very aesthetic window, as it serves no purpose aside from maybe a little bit of sunlight. And that is essentially it. We could add a dangling lantern here in the center if we want to grab a chain, and a lantern, of course, just to give the room a little more light. Probably doesn't need much more than that. And there you have it. As for interior decorations, I must admit I am not good at this, as I said that in the last video. But I like to do little simple things, like put the banners over the windows to act like blinds. And I did a little kitchen setup here in this corner, put the bed over here, as this is a very small home. It's more or less for aesthetic purposes, as opposed to probably an actual livable survival Minecraft home. But there we have it. We are done. And there we have it, a simple build to try out with the new format. Again, please let me know down in the comments or with a like what you guys think of this new format, where I zoom out for the basics of the build, where I can do some of the number counting without always counting to you guys, and then I zoom in where the details are needed most. So, with that said, as always, until next time, see you later.